Welcome to the Class Business Podcast. I'm Chrissy Monaghan, your host, and today we're joined by Abigail Couper-Douse, owner and class leader of Toddler Sense Gateshead, where she delivers action-packed adventure classes that help toddlers build confidence and develop their physical, communication, social, and intellectual skills through movement and imaginative play and exploration. Abby is finalist for New Business of the Year, sponsored by Popolo Ceramico at the Class Business Awards. Really excited about this conversation, so let's dive in. Abigail, it's amazing to have you here on the podcast today. For everyone that's listening online or watching us on YouTube, please tell everyone who you are, what do you do, and where do you do it?
Hi, everyone, and thank you so much, Chrissy. So I'm Abby. I run Toddler Sense Gateshead in Gateshead. And so Toddler Sense is the follow-on class from the really popular Baby Sensory franchise. And I've been doing it just since December 2025. So I'm a brand new baby. Brand new business baby, if you like. But I kind of cover... Although my area is Gateshead, there isn't another Toddler Sense close to me. So I'm covering about 5 different areas at the moment. So I have customers who come from Durham, from South Tyneside, from Sunderland. I have customers coming over from Newcastle where there's no kind of baby sensory presence over there or Toddler Sense presence. So yeah, I'm dipping my toe in a very big pond of customers at the moment.
Oh, well, that's a really good place to be. So before we get into the actual business side of things, what did you do before you started a franchise?
So before I started a franchise, I was actually a beauty girl at John Lewis in Newcastle. So I worked for Estee Lauder and I worked for Clarins whilst I was there. So I was there for about 4 years. And I absolutely loved that job. I loved all the people that I worked with, and I loved meeting different people every day. And kind of when I've reflected on my journey, because it's not a normal journey, it's not the usual journey. Most people who I know who've gone in to do children's classes have primarily come from a kind of education background, which is not me at all. It's not at all. I have previously worked with families and different arts organisations and things like that, but my job completely prior to this was working for Clarins. And so when I've thought about how I've done that journey, I have to think, well, what is it that I was doing at Clarins that I'm still doing now? And when I think about it, it's, if you were to come up to me, right, on a Clarins counter and you want to ask me about a foundation or something, and I've maybe got 3 minutes to sell you a product, and it's not necessarily the product that I'm going to sell you, it's me. I'm going to sell you me, and you're going to trust me by the end of this 3-minute period. And so that is the kind of transferable skill that I'm bringing into my classes at the moment. So I'm really selling myself and also immediately putting people at ease. That's my skill set that I would say is putting me in a good position at the moment in my business.
I love that. I mean, yeah, you've brought those skills across and you've been out there smashing it. What made you decide to start a franchise though?
So I accidentally had a second child. I wasn't planning on it. I always thought I was only going to have one baby. So I've got a 9-year-old girl and I have a 2-year-old as well. So when I had Cleo, my littlest one, we went to Baby Sensory in Gateshead, which I don't think was around when I had my older girl. So I went to Baby Sensory and I remember walking into my lovely colleague Kim's room, and for number one, it was the first children's class that I'd been to that had a permanent venue. And I was like, oh God, this is so nice. It's decorated beautifully. They've got their own entrance. They've got their own facilities. Because historically, the classes that I'd been to with Joni, my eldest, it was a lot of, people coming in with bags of stuff looking really harassed. And I was like, no, that's not for me. But going to Baby Sensory, and it's such a beautiful program of classes. Anybody that's been to Baby Sensory will know, like, it's such high quality, it's all development led. It's not just, let's fanny around with some pom-poms or whatever. It's like, it's all tailored to the baby's development developmental stages. And because it was a permanent venue and you saw the same people every week, it was a real little community. And I've made 2 friends in particular, but also a much wider network of parents that I've met and I know. But 2 friends in particular who are like my people. They are my people now, and we're still friends, 2 years later. And they come to my toddler classes now as well. So it was going and seeing that as an environment, as a community, and the feeling that it gave me going there. I thought, I could do this. I could do this for somebody else. And talking to Kim, who's the baby sensory Gateshead leader, and she explained, there's 5 baby sensories in our area, but there's no follow-on class. And I thought, well, ding, surely this is a no-brainer. And I just thought I am the right person to bring that kind of the sense of fun, but also the learning. I knew I could create a beautiful environment as well. And I knew that I could really do well building a community. So I was like, right, I'm the person, I'm going to go for this. And it's surprise. No one is more surprised that I've done this than me, because I've always kind of just thought I'm the kind of person that's just going to have a job. I'm not going to have a career. I'm just going to do like a little job to support myself. That's kind of what I was doing at Clarence. It's kind of what I was doing before I had my first daughter as well. I was working in admin and stuff, just tootling along. And I've always thought of myself as a person who is not very good at seeing things through to completion. I'm like all like excitement and motivation at the start of things. I'm not a completer finisher. If you walked around my house, you would see all the DIY projects that are currently unfinished, and you would understand what I mean. But I've impressed myself. I've impressed my family as well by seeing this through to the end. And now it's like, now I'm in it, it's just, you've got to keep going. So it's changed me as I don't know whether it was always in me and I just kind of never let my kind of, my ambition really push me, but I am doing that now. I think I've hit a stage in my life. I've turned 40 whilst I've started this business. And I just think, God, let's just go for it. So that's what I'm doing.
I love
Here
that.
I am.
Love that story. And obviously you had to go and find a venue, because you've got your own premises. So just walk through how that worked, because I know loads of people always want to have their own premises.
Yeah. So it was a non-negotiable for me to have my own venue, because the sheer amount of stuff that running Toddler Sense comes with, I was like, I can't be lugging stuff in and out. That was absolutely what I didn't want. And I didn't want to drive a van either, because I just passed my driving test a couple of years ago. I was like, I'm not ready to do that either. So I started looking at venues, and that was before I'd even signed for the franchise. I was like, because I knew that was definitely what I wanted. And I kind of looked at rooms in kind of community centres. I looked at like activity centres as well, like where they have different sports centres and things like that. The place I've actually gone for, it's actually a business centre. So it's I don't know whether you have them where you are, but it's called Design Works. I think they're all over the country. So it's Design Works business space. So there's probably about 80 different businesses in there, all small businesses, all kind of self-starting, and they've all got little offices in there. So the space that I'm in is an office, but it doesn't feel like an office. I've worked really hard, and I've had a lot of help from friends and family to make it feel really homely. So it's good because it's really close to where I live. It's really close to public transport, and it's kind of slap bang in the middle of my territory as well. So it was the first place that I looked at, and then I went around the houses and looked at loads of other places, and then I just came back to that one. And I was like, right, this is the one. And
has it got parking, I assume, as well?
It's got parking, yes. It's a bit of a contentious issue. It has free parking, but you do have to register your registration every single time. And people do forget to do that and have got tickets, but it's out of my hands. Out of my hands.
I love that. So you found the venue, and then obviously you signed up for the franchise. And how did you sort of tackle your launching then? Because obviously you've got experience, like you said, behind the counter, dealing with people, talking to people.
Yeah.
But then it's the launching part.
So the launch, it's been, I mean, every day is a school day when you're brand new to running a business. And so I kind of I gave myself some time. So I took over the franchise at the beginning of October and I was like, I'm going to launch at Christmas. That's going to be my big wow. I'm going to do Christmas parties. And so I set up my Instagram, Facebook accounts and just slowly started kind of drip feeding, you know, like this is coming posts, or like I'd pop on and do like a little story to camera or something about me buying an essential business purchase such as my mirror ball, for example. And through that I'd started gaining followers. Obviously I've got 5 baby sensories around me, so I connected up with them as well, and they were really great at letting their customers know that, you know, this is coming. So when it came to the point of actually launching the Christmas parties for sale, I think I only gave people like a week's notice. I was like, this is going to be on sale next week. There was so much going on personally at the time. It was so difficult. So my husband lost his job. My father-in-law became really, really sick up in Scotland. So my husband had to leave and be with him. And the next day I had to move house with my 2 daughters on my own, which I think I still have PTSD from. and then my father-in-law passed away. And then it was like, oh, and you're starting a business at the same time as well.
Wow.
So it was so much going on, to the point where I would just laugh. Do you know what I mean? I'd be like, sure, what's one more thing to deal with? Like, just come at me. So I started it and I was like, oh, I was all over tears. And it just flew. When I launched when I actually put them up for sale, like at some points there was 18 people in the queue trying to buy spaces. So I think I started with 90 spaces across 4 days of Christmas parties. It might have been 4 or 5 days. And in the end, I had such a big waiting list that I had to put on another 2 days worth of Christmas parties, and I sold everything out within a week. Brilliant. So it was the biggest feeling of validation. Like, I've done the right thing here. Like, I've seen a gap in the market in the area and people are responding to that. So it really, really made me feel like I've made the right decision. And it was like hugely, hugely exciting as well. So then trying to kind of keep that motivation going into termly bookings, which are a different beast entirely. So it started off really well in January, but January is also a really difficult time. Like, people don't want to leave the house. It's dark, it's cold, it's wet. So I kind of I managed to get about 75 bookings for my first term, which I was really, really pleased with. And I've had like a really good retention rate of customers going into the next terms as well, although it goes up and down. It goes up and down, and I'm learning to navigate that and how to navigate that with your help, of course, your marketing expertise. So yeah, it's going really well. And I've also, you probably haven't asked me this question, I'm just off on a tangent now. What I've also done at the same time is I've set up a collective of other businesses in the area. So we're the Gateshead Children's Activity Collective. It's very much in its infancy, and there's a lot that I would love to have the time to do with it, and that, you know, in the future I want to do a lot more with it. But at its base level, it is 5 businesses, kind of like the big hitters in the area. So we've got Baby Sensory, we've got Bloom, we've got Little Movers, we've got Heartbeeps, for example. And they're all women-led businesses, all women-led small businesses. And we've got an agreement within our little collective there that we will cross-promote businesses. We will cross-promote our classes to each other. So it's building on the community that I've got in my class and taking that and forming a community for myself as a business person as well. So having them there as a support, if somebody's had a bad day or whatever, or they've had a bad review, they can come and say, how would you deal with this? How would you deal with this? And everybody can pitch in, which has been absolutely lovely. And I hope they find it as valuable as I do, definitely, because I'm much newer to the business sector than they are. But it's like having an agreement between ourselves that we'll cross-promote, we'll carry each other's promotional materials in the classes. If there's an event that maybe one of us has heard of that we can be part of and somebody else hasn't, we're just going to share it, because ultimately what's going to be best for everybody is if Gateshead is a really attractive place to have families and to have family activities, because we're all based in Gateshead and we're all part of that community. So we want to see each other thrive as well as thriving ourselves.
That's brilliant. I love that, Abby. It sounds like you've literally hit the ground running, like with two different things. Obviously, we're only we're into August right now. And what like goals did you have for this year for your basically your first year in business?
So I haven't achieved all of my goals yet. I'm confident that I'm going to by the end of the year. My main goal, I'm just going to be totally frank, is to be able to pay myself a wage, which I'm not at that point yet. I'm covering all of my expenses and I'm, able to afford to buy extra stuff for the classes. But at the moment, everything that I make is going straight back into the classes to make them the absolute best that they can be. So my main goal is to be able to pay myself a salary. And I really think I've got high hopes for September, October time for this kind of upcoming term. And I really think that things are just going to kind of start to take off, because I think everybody in this industry will know it's so up and down at the moment. And I think the nursery places in England, the free nursery places, must have had an impact on people's ability or people's willingness to book a term, because it's a hard sell. I think about me as a mum of a toddler, and I think, right, I've got 2 days off a week with Cleo. Am I going to commit to one day of those out of those 2 days? Like every week I'm going to go to a class. I'm not. I've got too much on. I don't know where we're going to be. So it's a hard sell, and I understand that, which is why every customer that comes, it's like they're so valuable. Do you know what I mean? And I'll do everything that I can to keep them. But otherwise, apart from goals wise, it was just to be, I'm saying just to be the most desired class in my area. That's what I want. I'm hoping that I'll get there, maybe not this year, but by next year. And it's all about visibility. It's all about getting in front of the right people and then having that word of mouth kind of spread out and out and out to be like, oh, have you seen this? Oh, have you seen this? Because I know in the classes, I know the reaction I get from people when they come in. So I know that I'm doing that right. It's just about seeing it grow now and working hard and hard and harder to make it grow, to make it be what I know it can be.
Well, I have no doubt in my mind that you will make this a success. And obviously you're a finalist for New Business of the Year with us at the Class Business Awards. What was your reaction when you heard your name called?
I was so surprised. Because it's completely out of I've never run a business before. I've never entered any awards before. I've never written an awards application before. Do you know what I mean? Everything about it was completely outside of my comfort zone or outside of anything that I've done before. And so I kind of thought, I'll just go along. Like, I really enjoyed, the whole idea of it's not about bragging. It's about letting people know what the work that goes into it. And it's about shouting about the community, like, at large, rather than on a personal level. So, when I got the finalist nomination, I cried. I was messaging, I'm crying. But it means a lot to me because, as I was saying, in the classes, I can see the impact that I'm having. I can see, the kids who come back and the parents. I can see how much I'm impacting them because I see them face to face. So I know that my classes are having that impact, but because it's a business award as well, that really felt like I got total validation from that. I've never done this before. I'm brand new. I've got a lot of ambition. I've got a lot of things that I want to achieve. And so being recognized and seeing that other business people can see that I'm on the right track, it means a lot to me. It really, really does.
No, it does. And like I said, there's 20 judges and 3 people per category, and they're completely different people. So yes, take that validation, because you've done extremely well. And I can tell just from talking to you why you're a finalist.
Oh, thanks, Chrissy. That's really nice.
So if someone wants to find out about your activities, where's the best place for them to come and speak to you?
Yeah, absolutely. My Instagram, I'm most active on my Instagram. So it's just at Toddler Sense Gateshead, all one word, all together. I do have Facebook. I've got TikTok, but I'm terrible on TikTok. Or if you want to email me, you can email me at gateshead@toddlersense.co.uk.
Brilliant. And I can't wait to meet you in person on the 10th of October.
I can't wait. I'm going to get my outfit planned well in advance. I'm really excited.
Oh, you're gonna absolutely love it. You're gonna have a brilliant day, and then obviously we're going to finish it off in the evening as well with the celebrations. Oh, it's been lovely to talk to you today, Abby. Thank you so much for your time and joining us on the podcast. For anyone that's watching this, this story resonates with you. First year in business is a roller coaster. It is up and down. Abby's been very honest about the fact that, she's on the mission to make sure she can pay herself. I just want people to feel like they're not on their own, because I do feel like sometimes people think, is it just happening to me? It's not. You're in your first year in business, and this is the game. And if you can get past that first year, because that is the crux of it, then you would have laid those solid foundations for the future. So they're not on their own. So thank you so much, Abby, for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Chrissy, and thanks for all your help with everything. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.